Hello, Voices of Wrestling listener. Dave Ryan here. Have you ever wondered to yourself how many hidden gems are hidden away inside the last years of World Championship Wrestling? Have you ever asked yourself how many tenuous gags can be made about the name Mike Enos? And have you ever thought about what it sounds like for two Irishmen to interpret a very chaotic company through its B show? The answers to all this and more are just a click away. Check out Days of Thunder every second Thursday on the Voices of Wrestling podcast network.
Do you like wrestling trivia? Then check out the 5-Star Match Game, the Pro Wrestling Quiz Show. I'm Joe Gagney, and every episode, I grill 3 contestants with 5 rounds of power-packed wrestling trivia. We have over 30 evergreen episodes in the archives covering WWE, AEW, Japan, Mexico, and much, 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 much more. Play along at home and check it out today.
This podcast is a member of the Voices of Wrestling podcasting network. Visit voicesofwrestling.com to hear the rest of our great podcasts, as well as show reviews, columns, opinions, and updates across the world of wrestling.
Hello everybody and welcome to the Super J Cast, or should I say the Super Jerk Off Cast. I'm Joel, joined by David McDonald. It is Wednesday the 12th of November 2025. This is episode 387. Everyone's mad at me, Damon. I'm loving life.
Oh, why? We're just trying to give them the news that we know. That's it. We're not trying to break any hearts or hurt anyone's feelings or all that. Oh, well, yeah.
I'm doing it on purpose. I thought I put out a funny tweet. I thought I sort of lightened the mood a bit yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I think TNA deserves a lot of criticism as well. No, not for any particular reason. I just wanted to alienate the entire US wrestling fan base to make sure everyone hates me. And then I got some good replies to that. They actually started an argument about TNA. So someone put TNA is worse than ever and it's always been an embarrassing shit show. Then someone replied saying, your first post is praising Jim Cornette. Your opinion is already tainted from that. So already an argument started in my mentions.
Jeez.
And then I get someone replying with a gif saying, shut the fuck up, bitch.
The account of AJ Styles. Oh, why? Why is wrestling so ridiculously stupid? Why does it have? You know what? It's everywhere though. It's like it's everywhere. People just have this. People are just dopes.
Yeah, it's just people. People are the problem. So I'm going to try and extract as much enjoyment and rattle the cages and get some fun out of it.
Yeah. Yes. I'm not saying that times haven't changed, but it's like people who blame social media for this, it's not. You just weren't aware of it. Like people are just fucking idiots. So yes, God bless you. I don't know how you do. I told you. I said I don't know how you do this. I don't know how you put up with these just mutants. But whatever.
I think there must be something wrong with me because I do derive a sort of sick, perverse enjoyment out of it. You know, reading all these messages of people like frothing at the mouth, wishing death upon me. I get a kick out of it. I don't know. Like there's got to be something wrong with me to find enjoyment from that.
It's crazy, and it's I don't know. I just can't imagine anybody being that passionate about TNA. To be quite honest with you. That's the amazing part. Obviously, they're not whatever. But yes, once again, Joel, it is nice to be in the winner's circle with you, with our wreath of flowers and gold medals, as we prove once again to everyone. And there's always a new wave of doubters. There's always a new wave of people just aren't clued in. That's fine. That's good. Listen, I understand the idea of being skeptical and being, how could these fucking jerk-offs, the super jerk-off cast, how could they know anything that I don't? Because whatever. I buy every whatever. It's amazing.
Shame that level of critical thinking doesn't extend to any other sources of information, but never mind. Maybe we'll get there one day.
We'll get there one day. But yes, very proud to be a part of this because once again, we're just kind of rocking it at the top. And here's the thing too. What I find also amazing about this particular situation is I don't even care who was first, but collectively there is a group of individuals that all had relatively the same information, all from different people, and some the same, and it's amazing that why do we get all the heat? like everybody had this fucking information.
Yeah, I don't know. We're lightning rods, David. What can I say? But
Yes.
yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun stuff to talk about today. Hey, it's a special day in my household. It's Arthur's birthday today. He's 4 years old.
Nice. The big man. How old?
He's 4, and one of his presents. We don't get him like too many presents because I find like, what's the point if you get them loads of presents? Then they just sort of get distracted. They'll open something, be excited about it, and then you give them another present, so then they open that, and then they don't, not interested in the first one anymore. So we just space them out a bit. And he asked for like a Play-Doh set, so a little Play-Doh kit where you can make I can't remember what it was. It's like fruit and vegetables or something. All these little molds and presses. And so within 5 minutes, like all the colours are mashed together. There's like Play-Doh smushed into the carpet. It's just like a fucking disaster zone. I'm like, right, Arthur, time to tidy up. He said, no, I can't. Oh dear. Well, he's not going to like this.
Oh, that's adorable. Big guy. Love it. Now, so I know that you probably feed him in the sense of, hey, your birthday's in a couple weeks or whatever. Does he count down the days to his birthday? Does he knows the date and he knows it's my day and fuck everything?
Oh yeah, okay. Absolutely. He's been really excited about it for ages. Can't quite articulate it with that much precision. It'll be like, a month ago, he's like, tomorrow in November, it's my birthday. And you're like, oh, okay, well, sure, why not? we'll let that one slide.
Right. That's great. Did you have the cake and the ice cream and the party hats and all that?
No. We've not done the cake because Mally got the hump about the Play-Doh. So she was like, right, we're not doing the cake today. And Arthur was like, he didn't seem to mind. As long as we tidied up his mess, he was like, that's a fair trade-off. So he didn't seem that bothered by it. So we're going to save the cake. He'd asked for something very specific. He asked for a strawberry Swiss roll because he's got a little sort of plastic, like little cakes and desserts, like afternoon tea set. And he was just really interested in the one that's like a strawberry Swiss roll, and he was asking me, what's this, and I said, oh, that's a strawberry Swiss roll, and was showing him pictures. And that was a few months ago. Ever since he's seen that, he's just been like locked in that he wanted strawberry Swiss roll for his birthday. So Mally's lovingly made one for him. It's still sitting in the fridge. She's just refused to let him have it today.
She's laying down the law. Good. I love it.
Yeah.
Well, give him a big hug from me.
That's what she says. She threatens him. She's like, do you want Thai mummy? And I was like, kids, don't fuck about with Thai mummy. It's not going to end well.
Yeah, you don't want that to fucking come out. Well, give him a big hug from me and Cheryl. Happy birthday from both of us. That is an awesome thing. Awesome. 4 years. Wow. I know I mentioned it every fucking time, but I just remember getting that text, man. Can you got a second for a call? I'm like, what? We don't do that. Yeah. So very good. Excellent news.
It's
there.
Funny, man. Like we you go through a range of emotions when you got a second child on the way. Like we always wanted two, but we were planning to sort of space them out a bit more. But things happen in lockdown. There's only so much you can do when you're stuck in a hotel room together. Right. And at first, like you're thinking, like you've let down your first child because you're thinking, oh fuck, we're gonna have to be spending all this time and attention with a new baby, and that's letting Esther down because she's not going to get that attention, and this is bad. But then you actually come down to it, and we've given her the best present any kid could want, which is a little buddy, and they're best mates, and they love each other, and they love playing together, and it's a lovely age gap, and everything's worked out really nicely.
It really has. I mean, I'm so proud of you and the family, and great kids. Like that's just like I said, I told you before. I'm so happy for you. It's unbelievably. The kids are great. They're smart. And and again, a 4-year-old. The one thing that blew me away was all the barometer and the. I'm like, what the? I don't even know what this fucking thing is. I don't even know what it does. And he's explaining it, and and when he had my watch, he was just like, boop boop boop. Okay, Uncle Damon, change this. Change. All right, change the face. Here's how you do it. Oh, like I didn't have to show him. He just smart cookie. Good job. Good job by you. That's good news.
So, speaking on the topic of parenting, Mega Bastard Liam says, Joel, would you skip your daughter's birthday to go to a shitty Wrestle Kingdom? So this is a Reddit question. Have you got your phone on you, Damon?
You know what? I don't. But
right, it doesn't matter. I'll just read the question.
I'm going to roll right across. No, I'm going to roll right across. I can get just stay by. Lot of G.
So I'm going to read this question for you listeners while Damon's going to get it.
All right. I have said phone.
So the title of this is No 7-Eleven for Wrestle Kingdom Options. Right. So it's a question about where to get Wrestle Kingdom tickets.
Okay.
But the opening line of this, I'm skipping my daughter's 3rd birthday to come down to Wrestle Kingdom from China. So I'm like, okay, how's this going to figure into the post itself? I was at the anniversary show last year, got tickets at 7-Eleven, perfect. But this year, here, no bueno for that. Buy sumo tickets, doesn't ship to China. So I'm wondering what my options are. Don't want to spend $1,000 flying out hotels and not see the show. But can I possibly get tickets at the door? I'll only be in town for 2 nights, so I don't think hotel delivery will work since the time is so tight, but I'm not sure. So why is he dropped in the first line that I'm skipping my daughter's 3rd birthday, which is completely irrelevant? He just wanted to say, hey, I'm a massive piece of shit. Can anyone help me with Wrestle Kingdom tickets?
Wow, that's what balls. That's I don't know anybody who would have the ability to be able to do that. But well, listen, to each their own. Yeah, why would they? Like, it had nothing to do with the other paragraph.
Irrelevant.
It's really funny. You know what? I'll be like, I was going to say, no, I'm going to pass because I was going to say something outrageous in the first line, and then I want to go to Wrestle Kingdom, and even I self-censored myself. Thank God. Dan's like, whew, I don't have to edit that line out.
I've orchestrated the death of a family member so I can get the inheritance to come into some money so I can buy tickets to Wrestle Kingdom. Where can I get them?
right. Exactly.
Well, you think his daughter might see that someday? She, logging through her father's social media account to try and sort of piece together bits of information so she can see what kind of person he is. Right there, I'm skipping my daughter's 3rd birthday to come for Wrestle Kingdom. And it's not even a good Wrestle Kingdom. What are you doing, man? Like, this is like Wrestle Kingdom 14 or Wrestle Kingdom 11. You'd be like, fuck yeah, shit on the birthday. We're going to the Tokyo Dome. But no, I would not skip a child's birthday for this Wrestle Kingdom.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. I think it'll be a historic one. I think it'll be a, again, you're seeing Tanahashi's last match. I think that's important. I think a lot of people, it resonates with them. I don't know if it's 3rd birthday skipping kind of thing, but again, to each their own. What are you going to do? I'm just baffled by why would you even mention that? It's so funny. I can't stop laughing. Like, why would you put that in? I murdered a young child and peed on a baby. I want to go to Wrestle Kingdom. I'm just like,
very, very bold opening gambit there.
Right.
I'm not sure how it's doing in terms of upvotes. I know the fine people over at r/NJPW would have dealt with it in a cool and level-headed manner, like they always do. But
good. Yeah, I'm sure they did. Hey, you told me that there was a thread. I didn't look. And I don't want to look. But you said it was a relative thumbs up kind of thing.
Oh yeah. Again, our record speaks for itself. So there was that. But the funnier thing, and I hope he doesn't mind me saying this, but I got a fun message from Josh from Keeping It Strong Style. So he did fantastic work. Like the last week's episode, Monday's episode, Keeping It Strong Style, absolute must listen because he did tremendous stuff talking about the Okada situation. So if you've not heard that, like, do go and check it out. And then we were just exchanging messages afterwards, and he said, we got shared in Reddit about today's show. Everyone's totally misquoting what was said, taken all out of context, and we also got called MAGA grifters.
You know what? I can finally say, boys, you made it.
Yeah.
You made it. You made the big time. Good for you. Oh my lord. What a oh well. What again? You made it. Here's the thing. Once again, it does fall back on. You're not going to please everyone. You're not going to. You know what? It's not even that. Like I can even handle normal. I don't agree with that. That's a nonsense take, or he's an idiot, or whatever. But like sometimes they just love to just. I don't know, just out of nowhere, just like it's just that kind of shit. That's just like, what? Well, congratulations, boys. We're super proud of you here. You did it.
Can I send you another picture, Damon? So
Yes, absolutely.
Kick things off with a question here.
Yes.
So this is from Lady Guy Fieri, who says, "Who is more unhappy? It's not Shinsuke, you or Okada?" So I don't know if you've seen this image from NJPW 1972 from the press conference, where the face of Kazuchika Okada, I've seen like more enthusiasm from hostage videos. The man looks like he'd rather be anywhere else on the planet than at this press conference. And I'm not going to read too much into that, but it's an extreme. You know what he looks like? He looks like Elon Musk.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, I can see it.
Haggard, sort of slightly melted face. I mean, wow, like US wrestling's really done a number on this guy. It's pretty wild. But I mean, obviously this is the go on.
This is a picture with his new stepdad, at like the wedding. And he's like the teenager, like, "This is my new stepdad." You know what I mean?
Come on, like, smile. He's like, "No,
no, man, you're not my dad. You're not my real dad." Oh Christ, what a world we live in today. That and like I know people were getting all weirded out by like Okada saying like I want to give him a taste and a flavor of the AEW version. I personally I can't see that happening. Like I really can't. But stranger things have happened. I think he's just winding people up a bit. And here's the thing.
Can I rewind a bit, Damon? Because
please.
Like, what was so when you're watching it and you heard the Tanahashi's there doing air guitar at the end of the show for about 28 minutes. It was interminable. He went through about 3 or 4 different air guitars, and I'm thinking, fucking hell, man, just get on with it. And then he does the Ashtamas, and then the coin drops. Yeah. What was your sort of emotional reaction to that when it happened?
Honestly, it was like a sense of relief of finally this is done with, at least, like finally, and a bit of vindication and a bit of, but more of, okay, well, like, thank God we're done. We don't have to fucking hammer this thing home.
I guess my biggest fear was that they weren't going to announce anything and we'd just be left waiting again. So yeah, at least it put us out of our misery.
Right. I don't want to sit here and say I was disappointed. I thought the moment was very good. I thought that the idea of him and Tanahashi, again, it hasn't been that long that they haven't been in the same ring. That's for sure. Weren't they in like a multi-man tag too for like the Forbidden Door show? Wasn't that part of the deal? So it hasn't been that long. But I don't know. I was cool with it. Would I have preferred Shinsuke? Of course, we talked about it a trillion times. But I'm not hating on the idea of those two wrestling. Again, there's other things that I don't like about it. But those two in the ring together, I was like, yeah, all right, here we go. I mean, we have what I feel like is this is why people bought tickets. And they were banking on 2 people, and they got 1A instead of 1. So good job there. And New Japan made the most out of it, and I thought it was a cool moment.
Yeah, like I would have preferred Nakamura as well, just for sort of the story element of it and the fact that we've not seen him in a New Japan ring for so long. The pageantry of it, the music, the entrances, all of that, and the sort of connection between the two wrestlers. But whilst Okada, wouldn't have been my pick, it's not to my particular taste because I'm not that interested in the current Okada character. We've seen the Okada Tanahashi match plenty of times fairly recently, but I could also acknowledge that it's a safe choice, right? It's a sensible choice. I don't think there's any resentment towards Okada within the company. I think, from what I hear, Tanahashi likes him well enough. He's well liked by the office. Got a great pop. Can't deny that from the Anjo crowd, his hometown crowd. The segment was really good. And there's been a bump in the ticket sales. So, there are people who want to see Kazuchika Okada. So I think perfectly fine as a final opponent. I'm sure the match is going to be good and it will do what it needs to do. But I mean, at the end of the day, doesn't really matter. It's a celebration of Tanahashi. He could be
Correct.
wrestling fucking Yoshihiko, the blow-up doll, and people will still love it. And I say this, we're all friends here. We can just whisper that perhaps it is for the best that New Japan aren't making deals with WWE, because historically, that doesn't tend to end well. Who knows what they ask for in return? So if you want to hand it to ISIS, maybe Tony Khan inadvertently has done New Japan a favor there. And I'm not saying that arranging one cross-promotional match directly immediately leads to Channing Stacks Lorenzo of NXT going over Yota Tsuji at Dominion, but it is a Pandora's box that maybe it's best to leave alone. And also, right, let's not shed any tears for Nakamura either, right? He can eat shit, because if he wanted to work matches like this, then maybe he shouldn't have signed a deal with WWE, because I'm told that this month he did a title match in Australia. He had a few dark matches. He did the stuff in Japan. He got put in the Cena retirement tournament after apparently not wrestling since mid-June. So I don't think it's a stretch to assume WWE dangled some carrots to get him to extend his deal, so he couldn't just go and moonwalk straight into New Japan as a free agent. This is Nick Khan we're talking about. The man's a fucking shark. So we're under no illusions here about the potential dangers New Japan might have been stumbling into. I'm not going to do the whole enemy of the enemy is my friend. I hate all the Yankoid promotions to varying degrees. So, I maintain my stance that no partnership is the best option here, and the opponent should have been Taguchi, but here we are. His wife says, what will Damon do now that he isn't paid to glaze WWE and get on his knees for Triple H?
If anyone even remotely thinks that, they are out of their fucking skull. I haven't watched that product in 8 years. I couldn't tell you. WrestleManias, I don't watch. Survivor Series, I don't know. I will watch 1987 sometimes, if I'm just I need a nostalgia scratch. But no, I've never. I couldn't. I don't think I could name 20 WWE wrestlers right now. To be quite frank, I don't think I could. Again, it's the thing that grinds my gears is the fact that we have one person that can influence so much of not their company. And I understand the idea of working relationships and partnerships and all that stuff. I truly hate them. I think they are terrible for most of the promotions that decide to do it. It is about money, and it is about the promise of greener pastures and better days, but rarely does it come to pass. I just don't see the benefits of it. Has this happened before? Sure. I mean, New Japan will pull it, with when it comes to bringing guys in from Mexico. Oh, you work for AAA. Oh, you work for CMLL. Oh, you work for. I mean, we've seen it happen in the past, but certainly not to this magnitude, right? I think this is an important moment for the company. It's an important moment for the one fucking guy who's retiring, who's putting the asses in the seats. Yeah, I don't know. And I hate to say this, and this is not me being a fucking apologist. And times have changed and all that. But it's not like WWE hasn't done that before for other people's retirements. I mean, Terry Funk had a retirement match in Texas, his 900th retirement match, I guess, against Bret Hart. There's been other cases where people would WWE would bring people in. I don't think it was that big of a big deal, to be honest with you, but it was made a big deal. The idea of having
it's a big deal now that AEW exists, right? This is
for how long? Japan, it's unbelievable. For how long? It's they've been around for what, 5-7 years? I don't even I get it. You have a TV show and you're on American cable and Canadian cable. Okay. like, I don't know. It just seems like, dude, you know what? You were sitting in the fucking ECW arena. And, I always sit here and say, well, you know what? At the end of the day, Tony Khan's a wrestling fan. I think that line's blurred a little bit. I really do. I feel like it's like that wrestling fan is kind of faded away and he's more of a business guy. Because he's doing this out of pure spite, business related spite. But again, at the end of the day, Joel, I think we're going to have a good match. I think we're going to have a great match. I think the building is going to be packed. From what I understand, they're opening up sections of the Tokyo Dome that I haven't seen a seat for pro wrestling. They don't know what to do with themselves. Yeah, it's going to be a big deal, and I just wish the guy who this is all centering around could have his number one wish. That's really it. That's really 100% it. And the idea, and it's preposterous to think like that's not his number one. I mean, he basically admitted it, right? Didn't he have an interview recently where he basically said, "Yep, we wanted Nakamura, but we weren't allowed." Okay, all right.
Yeah, the most important thing, as we said, is that we were right. Alex ProRes says, can this week's pod just be a full episode of audio clips from Scrubs of Elliot singing I Told You So? And John says, on a scale of 1 to 10, how does it feel to have been vindicated while all of your haters have once again proven to be utter fools? I don't know if the hate listeners are tuning into this one, perhaps expecting some kind of crash out, a big meltdown. But yeah, you're not getting that, unfortunately. You're getting a victory lap. Things played out exactly the way I said that they would last week. I said it was going to be Okada. I've said that since day one. Right, my personal preference notwithstanding. I also said that Fightful were going to continue to run AEW PR, which they have. I said there'd be some mealy-mouthed nothing report from the Observer, which they duly delivered. So 3 out of 3 in terms of what I said last week. I don't really have anything to add in terms of how this match came to be. Like, I believe that Okada was established as the long-term backup option, like the 1B, while the preference from Tanahashi was Nakamura, and he's confirmed as such, right? Both companies explored that. I heard WWE had no objections. Obviously, as I've mentioned before, they would have been asking for something in return. I've got no idea what that might have been. But like I said last week, we're told they were willing to sign off on the match. And there was I'm good using exaggerated air quotes here, a report from Dave Meltzer from, I think this was from the Wrestling Observer Radio, says Nakamura was interested in doing it. I don't know what happened. There's a lot of stories going around. The only thing I know is that he obviously was interested because he did that thing a couple of weeks at WWE's Tokyo Live event. I remember asking about it at the time from WWE, and they just said that there's no deal. But he does have something in his contract that he can do stuff, but they still have to approve it. So I don't know where that stood or how it fell apart. Now, like the very smoothest of brains will look at that and just see there's no deal and think, no. But right, let's unpick this, because obviously they didn't reach a deal, because if they did reach a deal, that would be the match. Right. Nakamura wanted to do it. His contract said he could do it. So fill in the blanks here, because Dave's not going to fucking do it. I mean, look at this statement. Look at this quote. I don't know where that stood or how it fell apart. How about you find out?
Come on, I know.
How about you ask? Because is that not the key detail here that nobody else wants to touch, apart from me? Right? How much are subscribers paying these guys to give you 2 flavors of reporting? One being, that's not what happened, but I'm not telling you what happened. Or, I don't know what happened and didn't bother to find out. Like, why has it been left to me, an idiot with a dumb podcast, to pull on that thread and get all the heat for it? Like, wrestling journalism is a fucking joke, man. It's a clown show. And it creates this environment where when Okada was announced, people were losing their fucking minds, Damon. They were just like trawling through Twitter, going after random people, just people who were just innocuously saying stuff like, oh, it's a shame Tanahashi couldn't face the opponent he wanted, just, based on the teasing and the little hints that they've done to each other. And they're flooding the mentions of these people with like, cope and seethe. Oh, did Tanahashi tell you that himself? Stop glazing WWE. Like, it was utterly unhinged, where, this became the latest battleground in the WWE versus AEW proxy war. But, I'm sure they're all lining up to apologize after this development. So there was another thing that went out. Hiroshi Tanahashi talked about Shinsuke Nakamura at NHK Radio. He said that he met with Nakamura ahead of WWE show in Japan and they wanted to face each other, but due to AEW being New Japan's partner, who is a rival promotion of WWE, it was impossible. And still, people are like, well, he didn't say it was Tony Khan. Like,
No.
people have like
And who
actual,
was it?
honest to God, brain damage. Like, has he got to draw them a little picture? Because guess what? President Tanahashi is not going to be throwing promotional partner Tony Khan under the bus for pulling the plug on the match. But like anyone with a shred of media savvy can read between the lines and put the pieces together and understand what, due to AEW being New Japan's partner, actually means, right? That's a very loaded statement. He knows what it means. We know what it means. And so do people who've got half a brain cell. So, let's look at the facts here, right? Nakamura, clearly the opponent Tanahashi wanted. They're sending out little messages to each other, the promos and interviews, move tributes, all that stuff. Tokyo Sports picked up that, ran with it. So, like, obviously, that was the 1A option. But Tony Khan didn't like that. And who knows what the negotiations looked like at that point? Because there was clearly a bit of annoyance from Tanahashi, as you could see in that presser where he was growling in response to the question. Go and watch it. Someone asked him about why you're not announced the opponent, and he's like pulled a grimace and went, "Ugh." So like, but even so, right? We accept the Nakamura thing was always going to be risky given Takeshita's involvement. So I think New Japan were hoping to get the Nakamura deal sorted by like maybe King of Pro Wrestling. Then they had to put it off. Maybe they hoped to get it done by the Gifu, the homecoming show. That didn't happen either. So my guess is that the Anjo show was set as the hard deadline to finalize the match and announce Okada, obviously being in his hometown and on his birthday as well, to do, right, Okada is the fallback option if the Nakamura deal fell through. So there you go. That's what I believe the timeline to be. And I know there are a lot of people who were violently rejecting the notion that Tony put his foot down and expressed strong disagreement at the prospect of using Nakamura, and are using Sean Ross Sapp's "not what happened" tweet as some kind of gotcha, which that's like saying, well, Joseph Goebbels said Hitler's done nothing wrong, so there. And if you want a smoking gun, like the closest thing you're going to get to an acknowledgement of what actually happened, it's a later tweet by the same person which says, if I were him, I wouldn't be cool with it, which like that's the best you're going to get from that particular outlet. And to be quite honest, I don't really understand why people find it so hard to believe that Tony Khan would try and block the match, because if he thinks he's getting his guy Okada going over in the biggest New Japan match in decades, and then suddenly hears that they want to replace his guy with a guy from the promotion that he hates and is trying to put him out of business, of course he's going to be pissed and try to stop it. Like, anyone who thinks Tony Khan would just have no issues with New Japan using Nakamura and living in fantasy lands, he should have tried his best to block it. It would be promotional malpractice not to. Now, whether or not New Japan should have listened to him is another matter, but I said this would happen, Damon. Like, make no mistake, everyone knew what I've just laid out. All those news sites knew, but we're not idiots. It's not in their interest to report or investigate that, because it will piss off the people who feed them their scoop.
Information, yeah.
Right, and that's that. Right, and if you're listening to this podcast, you're a smart person. You make up your own minds. I just report what I've heard, and it's not from Kevin Kelly. I don't know if you've seen that. That's the latest quote from the Tony Khan Glazers. That Kevin Kelly is.
I haven't talked to Kevin Kelly in. Well, yeah, let me be very clear. I haven't talked to Kevin Kelly. I don't text, and that's like a running joke. Like I don't text. I'm terrible at it. Everyone knows it. He did the podcast with our friend Joel in London, who I haven't talked to in a million years either, because I don't text. And when I found out he did the show, was it that show? It might have been even before that. He did another show, and I thought he did a good job on the show. And I just texted him, "Hey, I that's a good show. Keep doing that." And he's like, "Thanks, Damon, appreciate it." And that was literally it. And I can go back on my phone and look to see the exact date, but it was a long time ago. So no, unfortunately, it was not Kevin Kelly. So, but keep guessing, people. It's unbelievable. Like, and I guess, look, there are times when, from a New Japan Pro Wrestling perspective, from their business perspective, there are times when we have been asked, hey, don't mention whatever. And it's more to do with, hey, we'd like to have it be a shock for the fans or whatever, or and that's cool. I don't necessarily have a problem with that. Like, that's not a big deal to me. What I don't like is the idea of it, because here's the thing, Joel, if we knew, and it doesn't take like a lot of effort for us to even know. And there are other people that knew, and I would love to say names, but again, you listen to Keeping It Strong Style. I mean, they had similar conversation and talking points that we had, and there have been others.
Yeah, and they've got their own sources. They're not talking to the same people we are. They've all heard the same thing.
So it's not like this was like hard to get and hard to piece together, and the fact that it's just kind of swept under the rug. Look, I'm old enough to be.
That's what pisses me off, right?
That's what pisses me off.
Yeah, like the difference between me and these mainstream news sites is this, right? I'm not picking sides. Yeah. I'm not going to whitewash anything that New Japan fuck up, because anyone who's listened to this show, my God, you all know I've got plenty of criticism in the tank for New Japan, to a fault, where in some circles I just get accused of hating everything. But if I get some intel that makes New Japan management look bad, guess what? That's going in the deli too. I don't give a fuck. I've upset plenty of people who work for New Japan, to the point at which, famously, Editor Dan getting accosted by Michael Craven because of us.
Let me pause there. I'm sorry, just hold that thought. I want people to, maybe there are new listeners, I want you to understand this. There was a time when Editor Dan was at a show and was physically accosted. Is that the word I'm looking for? Accosted? I'm an idiot. Again, it didn't come to punches or anything like that, but like I
heard he had a knife and a gun,
nunchucks. Where that happened, so it's not like people throughout the history of this show, and even the Purecast, particularly liked us for saying certain things. And again, when we said, fuck it, we're doing a deli, blah, blah, blah. And yeah. Okay. So I just want to make sure that point was hammered home. I'm sorry. Please continue.
Yeah. And I've said before, right? I think if anyone who's covering anything with any degree of thoroughness or integrity, it is healthy to have a bit of an adversarial relationship with it. Keep them honest, keeping them accountable. And anyone that works for New Japan who's aware of this idiot podcast probably hates me just as much as the Freakazoids do. But guess what? I will never do PR work for them. If they do something stupid, if they fuck something up and I hear about it, it's going in the deli. And anyone who pays for the deli knows that makes up about 80% of the stuff that goes up there. So, you can say what you want about me. You can, doubt my sources, call me an AEW hater, quote, tweet me. That's fine. Right? It's all part of the game. I've got no interest in arguing with people who have zero media literacy. I don't want them on my side. They're not real people. But I will die on this hill that, unlike the mainstream Western wrestling news, I am not and never will run PR for the promotion that I cover because I want to stay in their good books, because that's coward shit. I'm not choosing sides. Why the fuck should I defend New Japan? Because they've upset me way more in recent years than Tony Khan ever has. So New Japan can go fuck themselves too, because wherever I hear, it's going in the deli, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And look, Damon, who's got better New Japan sources than us? Name one person who's got the network of contacts and the impeccable track record that we do. So much so that we've ground down all the haters on Reddit by constantly being right. Like, they can't stand us, and yet they can't help but defend us because they know that we're always right. And this isn't even my job. I do this shit for fun, and I still do it better than the clowns who do it full time. Honestly, I'm not just saying this to put myself over. I'm lamenting the absolute state of wrestling journalism and its catastrophic failure to report on this story. Spare me the tactical yankoid PR leaks. If you want the inside track on what is actually going on in New Japan Pro Wrestling, Japan being the key word there, with no agenda for the low price of $5 a month, we'll smarten you up. Get your fucking wallet out. Join the big boy table for proper adult conversations. Leave the morons to their game and defend the billionaire. I'm done with it.
That's it. That's it. That is it. I can't say it any better. Look, again, I'm old enough to be the guy that waited by his mailbox for the Wrestling Observer. I'm so disappointed. I really am. I'm not angry. I'm disappointed. I don't know anyone else. I'll be honest with you. I know the guys from Post because I went to dinner with them when I went to Japan. You were to be there. You had to get a stroller. We got it. I I don't know anybody else. Like I've never had a one-on-one conversation. I, I'm I'm embarrassed at the low effort and the idea of we're not going to say what the real story is. Again, we both have full-time jobs. I watch a terrible hockey team. Joel watches a very good football team. We both have families and lives and interests and stuff outside of professional wrestling. We consistently deliver the fucking goods. And the fact that this particular time, when we delivered the goods again, the pushback was so weird that we have to dedicate 39 minutes to the absolute state of the U.S. pro wrestling journalism. It's unbelievable. It's embarrassing that I had to, it's embarrassing. It really is, and truly disappointing. It's absolutely disappointing. I don't know. Look, I understand that you want to, and I think we do this to a certain degree of, hey, you know what? We appreciate the idea of you giving us information, and we'll do our best to make your life as easy as possible. I understand the idea of that because not only do I do this, mind you, I also cover legitimate real sports, right? Remember that, right? So my fat ass is in a locker room a lot, right? Of NHL, NFL, Major League Baseball, not so much baseball anymore. And I actually had to do 2 basketball games in the past, most depressing moments of my life. That being said, it's not like those beat writers and those it's not the same thing. And the level of, the people who are, just like you said, they're just the PR machines for a league or a company or a team. Like, that's embarrassing. That's embarrassing. And it's not like I'm sitting here and I'm fucking Walter Cronkite, the idea of journalism has why am I turning into Richard Nixon? The idea of journalism has
Woodward.
I guess has been it's an embarrassing state. That's not it. I don't give a fuck, to be honest with you. But in this particular case, I really do. Like, I'm just like, why? Because you can't get the scoop on fucking some. I don't know. I'm trying to make an analogy, and I don't have one. It's embarrassing. It's just terrible, and do better. That's that. You know what? That's all I got to say. Just fucking do better, or don't talk about it at all. You know what? I would prefer that. Just don't talk about it at all. Because if you're going to do it that much of a half-assed fucking job, don't do it at all. It's amazing to me. And again, names that you people recognize. If I said the names that we talked to, they all have the same information. Like, it's not like these people are like, who is this guy? Like, you'll know the names if we say the names, or for a few of them, and it's all the same. Like if we can get this information, how can that? I don't know. You're right again, and you said it well and better than I did. And all I know is thank you, Joel, for kind of setting the record straight, giving people a forum and a platform to get the details, get the skinny, get the truth as best as we can deliver it. And it gives me hope that there are at least intelligent people that follow this product. It really does. And I'm not just saying that to like glaze the people who hand over $10 a month for us. It's not it at all. Because I got news for you, fuck faces. I don't see a dime of it, and I don't want to. I don't want to. Right? Joel puts in a lot of work into that fucking thing, and he should get every fucking dime of it. It's not about the money. So don't give me. It's about me pumping up, Patreon bullshit. Like, we appreciate it. I appreciate it. But let it be known, I don't fucking see a dime of it. You've done this, and I'm proud of you for the work that you've done, and I'm proud of you for having the fucking balls to say what you said. Good on you, dude.
This guy's got the fucking balls. Yeah. Like, there's a lot of stuff like I think is really interesting to delve into with the Okada situation. We've talked about how it came about. Do you still have any resentment about how he left the company? Like, his last sort of 6 to 12 months with New Japan. Is there any of that still sort of sticks in your craw?
Hate it. It's set us back. I mean, wouldn't it be great? And again, he doesn't have to do it. He can do whatever he wants. If he wants to leave the way he did, then he can. But it set us back. And you could look at every one of those younger, kind of trying to make the move to at least mid-level guys who would get in his face and would cause a scene because they were upset. It set us back. It could have. I'm not saying it could have launched us, but it could have helped improve what we have gone through in the past.
We could have just tried it at least.
Right. Wouldn't that have been nice? No. I get his last match, and I know you play the clip a lot. Just
yay!
Yeah. Like, wow. You know what I mean? Like, just wow. And I know the office likes him. And rightfully so. And this is not to sit here and say and shit on all the things that he has done for New Japan Pro Wrestling. He absolutely has. He's one of the greatest pro wrestlers New Japan Pro Wrestling has ever had. I will go to my grave saying that. But the way that this ended, from hey, help us out here, brother. I understand that you're trying to get bank, but come on now. No. The proof was in the pudding in that. So, look. No, there still is. There still is. And I think the ramifications of that are still felt today.
Hey, Ryan Reynolds here. Wishing you a very happy half-off holiday, because right now Mint Mobile is offering you the gift of 50% off unlimited. To be clear, that's half price, not half the service. And Mint is still premium unlimited wireless for a great price. So that means a half day. Yeah? Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
Yeah, that's the big disconnect for me. I can't look at him and not think of the person who said "yay," and the guy who Tsuji was calling out, saying to his face, like, "Are you satisfied with this? This is disappointing."
Yeah,
Sugoi zanenda. That's what he said. So, I suppose it sort of begs the question as well, Damon. Do you think Okada actually wants to be there and be in this position? Because it doesn't really look like it, to be honest. And he said there are all these comments coming out like he's got no interest in going back to New Japan and wants there to be space and distance and stuff. It feels like he might have been, I don't want to say like unwillingly put in this spot, but I do wonder sort of how much he actually wants this.
I think some of it is a work. I think some of it is him trying to put on a facade. I find it very difficult to believe and especially as we get closer to January 4th, that he won't have a little bit of butterflies, right? I find it very difficult to believe. Does he want to be there? I want to believe that he does. I want to believe that he is, again, he's putting on this facade of not wanting to. I have to believe that there is a big part of him that's like, all right, this is going to be fucking cool. I think this is going to be this is going to be one of my highlights of my career. I mean, you figure, you know, retirement matches. I mean, if you go back to that awful Tenru match that he was involved in, and he literally carried. I mean, and when I say literally, I mean there are moments in the match where he's physically picking him up and carrying him to complete the match. I think this is going to be, a bit more spectacular for him. I really do. I want to believe that, and maybe I'm kind of just forcing it down my throat. But I really do want to believe that it means more to him than he's leading on.
Yeah, I will say, like, the actual execution of the angle on the Anjo show was great. They timed it perfectly, a huge pop, and I like the little sort of story callbacks where he came out wearing the same outfit that he did when he challenged it. Was it end of Wrestle Kingdom 6 with a black shirt and having like the Gedo with the bandana over his eyes and everything? I thought that was pretty cool. And with the crowd getting all hyped for it, obviously, that was his hometown. What the fuck is she doing?
It's his birthday. He's partying.
I don't know. My wife's just got upstairs and was just like clattering pots and pans together in a way that can surely only be to deliberately annoy me.
Yes,
what did you think?
Tell you that she's doing the dishes. So, like, I get it all the time. That move right there is, I'm doing the dishes, and I'm not going to tell you I want help, but I'm doing the dishes right now. Clink, clank, clink, clank, clank. Can you clank, clank, clank? Well, I'm in the middle of something. I'll do it like clank, clank, clank. Okay, that's what that is. Just as a pro, just cluing you on
that. Yeah, what did you think of the actual angle itself during the show?
Yeah, like I said, I think the execution of it was strong. The crowd reaction was exactly what they were hoping for, and they got. Yeah, it was nice. The little callback spots, the black shirt, the music, the Gedo being, right there by his side. It brought you back. I know I said that the first thought I had was relief that this whole situation was over. The second was a little bit of disappointment that the guy didn't get what he wanted, and it finally has come to an end, and this is what it is. But, it's a true, it's not like some, they brought in, some legendary guy that you would think, oh, okay, I get the idea of him being here, but he probably shouldn't be here. No, I think back to all the amazing matches that they've had. And while at the tail end, did it lose a little bit of steam and lose a little bit of luster? And but I also think back, I also this past week thought about the time where they had the G1 in Dallas. And they had, a lot of smart cookies in that crowd and who knew the significance of what they were seeing. And the fact that they stood on their feet and just standing ovation before they even locked up because they knew what that meant. That's because of both of those guys. And I thought of that. I thought of that moment of, this is toward the tail end of this epic feud that they've had. Maybe one of the greatest of pro wrestling history. And still they went out there and in front of, a lot of empty fucking seats at that American Airlines arena. Let it be known. Everybody already knows, but it's not a fucking secret. But they went out there and did what they could do to make that G1 match as good as they could, given the physical limitations, quite honestly, of both guys. That's what I thought of. I really did. I thought, like, even though it's not the guy that we necessarily wanted the most, it's a guy that at the end of the day deserves to be there. And I still believe that today, that it's not like Okada doesn't deserve to be there. He deserves to be there. Does he want to be there? Again, do I think some of it is him posturing and working and doing something different maybe? Yeah, But I think at the end of the day, when the bell rings and 40,000 people are on their fucking feet in that big building with a lot of history behind it, I think they both recognize the moment. And I don't think Okada is the kind of guy. He might be the kind of guy that be like, fuck the new kids. I got to keep my name strong because I'm going overseas and trying to make a name for myself. I think that's a big difference between that moment and the moment when that bell rings on January 4th. And this is my most famous and most legendary feud. The guy I do the dance with, it's his last match. And I think he's going to go balls out. And I think it will be epic.
Yeah, like if nothing else, out of pure sort of professional respect and courtesy for Tanahashi, who's arguably the guy who made him,
right,
by showing the sort of foresight that Okada himself did not show on his way out of the company by agreeing to work an extended feud with a young guy who looked like shit when in his comeback match against Yoshihashi. Let's be honest, whether that was deliberate, I don't know, but yeah, like he was very, very generous for Okada, so I'm sure that he's going to do everything he can to match the sense of occasion, which it's huge. So I don't have any qualms about that. I'm a little bit nervous seeing Okada talking about his AEW heel character, and that he was like, okay, well, you're not going to see the nostalgia Rainmaker anymore. That was just like a one-time deal. You're going to see a different Okada. You're going to see the kind of Okada you see in AEW, which has me sort of like tugging my collar a bit, like, oh, what's this match going to look like?
Against Okada,
but
we're getting.
We're getting balloons out.
Getting balloons out. Is that what we're getting?
But I'm really curious. Like, what do you think the match itself should aim for? Because I mean, they could just play the hits, which would be fine. Like, I don't think anyone will be complaining about that. But I do feel that there's a real opportunity here to do something quite special. If Tanahashi is great at one thing, it's leveraging and leaning into and tapping into the emotion of a moment and being able to capitalize on that and weave that into the story of the match. So I'm thinking back to the match they had at Dontaku in 2018, where it was like the deluded ace, like his one last crack at trying to stop Okada from breaking his record, and he couldn't do it. Like something like that. But it feels like there's so much going on and so much emotion and maybe like resentment in some aspects, some sections of the New Japan fan base towards Okada. And if he is going to kind of lean into that by doing the heelish AEW thing, then I feel that they could, if they're smart, which of course they are, there's the potential to do something quite unique with the in-ring storytelling. So I'm curious, like what do you think the match should look like?
I think they can do both, Joel, because you mentioned it. I think that energy that you talked about and the feeling and the emotion, and that's going to be pre-baked. Now add to the fact that, I'm sure there's going to be moments in the match where it's, come on, Tanahashi, claw, fight, kick, do whatever you got to do because you're on the receiving end of it now. I'm sure there's going to be plenty of that. There's going to be epic comeback spots. I'm not even saying they're going to go, 35 minutes or anything like that. They could. I mean, there's a lot of talk that's going on last, so it could be Tanahashi's going to do whatever he fucking can, the miracles of Japanese science to fucking go that distance. But we're talking about two of the smartest pro wrestlers on God's green earth. And with the emotion already pre-baked. Look, I don't necessarily think they have to play the hits, but even if they did, and I don't think they will, but I think you'll get, like if you're talking from a music analogy, you're going to get hits. Don't get me wrong, but you might get an obscure B-side thrown in there that's going to be like, whoa, I can't fucking believe they went there. And I'm not saying that's the entire match, but I think the match is going to say and tell different stories depending upon where you are in the match. And I think they can do that. Look, physically, am I worried? Well, yes. But there's magic in the air in that building. And when magic shoots down their fucking spine, great things are going to happen physically. it's the emotion and the mentality and the I hate to say the story, but it's that element. It's that the ride that all of us have been on for so many years with those two individuals. It's an amazing thing if you go back and just kind of sit down and think about that. Like how long those two wrestlers have been a part of this show, our love of New Japan Pro Wrestling, people getting hired and writing books and people learning languages and to understand the product more, and like a lot of that can be tied right back to I saw Okada and Tanahashi, in 2008 or 18 or 9 or whatever year, and I followed them for years. I followed that story for years. Now, and again, I think a lot of people banked on it being either 1 or 1A, whether it be Nakamura or Okada, and they said, I'm buying a fucking ticket. And maybe a lot of people just said, I don't give a fuck who's in the ring. It's Tanahashi's last match. I don't give a shit. I'll be there. No, I think the emotion's already going to be there. And all they got to do is just tug a little bit. Like, there's no need to kind of reinvent the wheel here. Like, that all that energy and all that magic is going to be there. Physically, they'll make it happen. They'll make it work. And you have two of the greatest ring generals in the world. I think it's going to be great, dude. I really do. I think it's going to be great. And I think it's going to be, I think people who are thinking, oh, you're going to get Okada and it's going to be like 2 steps away from a house of torture. No, it's not. I really can't imagine it. Could he tease that? Yeah, sure. Just to get people fucking riled up. But at the end of the day, I think we're looking at a match that there's going to be some misty eyes in the building. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, like there's the real potential there to just take the crowd on an unprecedented emotional ride, like with all twists and turns. There's like so many sort of complex, conflicting emotions going into it. Some of the fans are going to be excited to see Okada. Some of them are going to be mad that he's there. Okada himself, there's does he want to maintain fidelity to his AEW character, or is it going to be like deference to Tanahashi and respect for him going to be bleeding through? And Tanahashi himself, like, he wants to be the ace, the baby face that's loved by everyone, but there's still that prize fighter mentality to him where he wants to win fucking wrestling matches. So he's not just going to go out meekly. He wants to win.
Right.
So there's so many like different emotions in there that if they tap into it and tell the right story, it could be something like absolutely unforgettable. So I've kind of like, after the initial like, fuck, it's not Nakamura, I've kind of taught myself into getting really excited about the match. But it might be an obvious question. Like, you might just hand wave this completely. Who do you think should win the match?
Well, historically, the guys that are leaving lose, in many cases. And it's rare. I can't say rare, but like I'm really trying to think of one off the top of my head where the guy who is retiring gets his hand raised at the end of the day. They just don't do that. And I think that's okay. Could they pivot? They could. I don't think they will. I think Okada wins.
I think it would be like the ultimate act of contrition and reparation if Okada did lay down for Tanahashi.
It really would.
And can you just imagine what it would be like in that building if Tanahashi somehow manages to get the win? Like, I cannot like conceive of a bigger explosion of joy. Like, since I guess like Wrestle Kingdom 2020, Wrestle Kingdom 14, where Naito finally, overcame his character arc and won the big one. But I think there's a strong, and I know like all the conventional wisdom, I'm 99% sure Okada's winning, and I don't have a problem with that. Like, it's a retirement match. Like, the retiree usually goes out on their back, but there's the potential to just send the crowd home in such rapturous, like undiluted joy by just letting Tanahashi win the match. Like, I think there's a very strong case to be made that that's the direction to go.
I would be. I mean, I know you're going. I know Strong Style going. I know others that will be taking the trip. I would be incredibly jealous of all of you. I would be and take it to my grave. I would be incredibly jealous of everyone in that building. Just the absolute euphoria that building will be filled with, and outside, and everyone kind of penguin walking through those doors with the compression, the air just whips you, it pushes you out the door, and now you're outside and you're staring at your buds and you're staring at your pals, and you're looking at each other like, holy fuck, that was great. Holy fuck, let's go get some beers because this night can't end. That would be magic, man. I can't imagine that building. And I know there will be people at 4:00 in the morning Eastern Standard Time, or 5:00 or 4:30, whatever the fuck time that show the final 1, 2, 3 hits. That would be waking up their entire house and maybe even their whole neighborhood. If that were to happen, that would be an unbelievably joyous moment. I can't. I'm just sitting here thinking about what that would feel like and look like. I think the one when Naito won that belt in the Dome, one of the best moments ever was the eruption of the crowd and just high-fiving and fist-bumping people around you. It was crazy. And then it was all pulled away by fucking Kenta, which was one of the greatest heel things I've ever seen in my life. But I think it would be triple the energy. And I triple, maybe even fucking 100 times. Just the euphoria, and people. I can imagine people going back to trying to sleep after going back to their hotel, or going home to their families and being like, I'm so happy I can't fucking I can't sleep. They have a chance for a moment. They really do. They have a chance for maybe one of the greatest New Japan Pro Wrestling moments in modern times. Boy, if they could pull it off. Look, I'm not saying Tony has any influence on the booking, but even if there was a glimmer, can you just fucking remember the times that you went to ECW Arena, and remember the times that you went to NWA shows, and remember the times that you went to New Japan shows, and that love of pro wrestling that you had? Like, you could help that. So I hope so, man. Now I'm working myself up over the idea of Tanahashi winning, knowing full well that it might not happen. But God fucking damn it. Can we get excited about something? Can we get excited? Can we fucking get excited over the idea and have joy on January 4th? Come on. Come on, people. Come on. Come along for the ride.
What a gift that would be to not just New Japan fans, but just to pro wrestling.
Yes.
To just bless us with that moment. If it happens, I'll publicly apologize to Tony Khan. I'll never say anything bad about him for at least a week. But yeah,
that week.
He's got a chance to. It's down to him, isn't it? Like, he's going to have the final say in how that match ends up. But yeah, if anyone deserves to go out with a win, it's Hiroshi Tanahashi, who's just given so much to everyone else. Like, one of the most selfless people, and just spent the back half of his career, the last 13, 14 years, helping to make other people look good. To just give him one little thing back, just give him that moment of just absolute joy and happiness that pro wrestling fans will just cherish in their hearts until their last days. Like, if that happens, I will never forget that. I'll every morning I'll wake up and be like, that moment where Tanahashi got the 3 count,
yeah,
and the fucking roof blew off of the Tokyo Dome. Like, that will people would just be floating out of the building. It would be absolutely magical. But we can't have nice things, Dave. It's not going to happen.
I know. I'm getting
getting everyone's hopes up.
Joe, you should see the fucking smile.
Tears in my eyes.
The idea of it happening, like I'm just like, oh, wouldn't that be just so fucking special? Like, but here's the thing. That's the magic of pro wrestling. That's the magic of being a fan of this product. And that's because you have the opportunity for moments like that. It's there for the taking. They could do it. It's not going to hurt anybody. Nobody's going to give a fuck if Okada gets counted to 3. It's not going to hurt anybody. But imagine the fucking joy. I can't believe I'm begging to a billionaire to please just put aside the fucking the idea that your company is so fucking important and just be a fan again. Be a fan again, man.
Someone clip this audio and send it to him. Someone must have inroads. Come on, do it, Sean. Come on, if you're listening, buddy, do it. Okay, well, you touched on it before, Damon. Which match do you think should main event? Because, my traditional pro wrestling logic, this show should be all about setting up the future of New Japan and the next generation, and giving a hook to all those lapsed fans and casual fans who are in the building who've not watched New Japan for ages to think, fuck, this Yota Tsuji guy is incredible. I need to see more of him. He is the guy. But this is a very unique situation, and I think there's a very real worry of, as soon as that Tanahashi match is finished, people are going to leave.
Right.
They're going to turn off the TV if they put that not as the main event. So whilst it would be the bold booking choice, and a lot of people I'm not dead set on this, and I can totally hear the arguments that people are it would be nuts to not have Tsuji and Takeshita main event, and you've got to establish the future and give something to young guys. I get all of that, and trust me, I've been flying the flag for that for feels like the past 3 years, but I just feel that having Tsuji Takeshita in the main event would be setting them up to fail, because of the fans, not just the energy, the come down of the Tanahashi final match, but also the fact that you might get hundreds, maybe thousands of people leaving the Tokyo Dome after the Tanahashi match is finished, which would just be terrible. The optics of that would be awful.
Right.
It's starting off the Takeshita Tsuji match when people are leaving the building and people turning off their TV set. So I think, in order to make sure that as many people as possible are watching Yota Tsuji hopefully get his crowning moment, Tanahashi's got to go on last.
I'm with you. I really am. I'm with you. And, asking around, I don't think an official lineup has been set, let's put it that way, but you kind of get glimmers of information in the sense of, if in fact they did go with Tanahashi last, over and above all the things that you mentioned, which I totally agree with, you would think that there would be some type of celebratory mood in that building with whatever you need to celebrate, whether that be pyro, whether that be whatever, right? And I think you have to logistically plan that out. So I really honestly believe that the people that are buying tickets are not there to see Takeshita and Yota Tsuji, as much as it is vital and important, and we have drilled this point home, that a star needs to be made, because guess what? January 5th is going to come, as well as February 8th and March 16th. We have a future we have to be concerned with and appreciate and acknowledge. This night is about those tickets that we talked about that are being sold, that are being opened up, is because of this match. Yeah. Now, if they don't, I let's put it this way: if Tanahashi goes on last, I think there's a better than 50-50 shot that he wins the match. If Tanahashi goes on next to last, he's definitely losing. I think placement on that card is paramount. And I think for all the reasons that you said, I don't want people walking out of a building. I don't want people, and that's not to say it's a disrespect, but understand, like, a lot of the people that are going to be there. Well, let me put it this way: a lot of the pro wrestling fans would be there regardless, and a lot of people are going to be there because they're fans of Hiroshi Tanahashi, and a lot of people are there are maybe lapsed fans that haven't really tuned into the new product for a little bit. And are going to see, and just to kind of get that nostalgia itch scratched with Tanahashi's last match. Like you need that combination to get people talking about ticket sales to a Wrestle Kingdom. You need those three elements. By having the Tanahashi match not last, you do risk that optic of why not have fucking both? Why not have an epic Takeshita Tsuji world title match and then follow that up with, and don't give me burnout crowd. That crowd is going to be there and eat it up like it's a fucking bowl of ice cream. Why not have both? Why not have you crowned a new star with everyone in the building to see and be like, wow, look at that fucking match. Maybe I need to tune in next week. Maybe I need to go out of my way to watch Dash, or maybe I need to follow up at New Beginning and watch this guy. That was a good fucking match. I'm into this. And then follow that up with, give me the joy. Give me the waves of fucking joy. And have Tanahashi win. To me, that would be an epic night. To me, that would be a home run Wrestle Kingdom. And, not for nothing, Joel, follow that up with Aaron Wolf getting some headlines as well. That's going to be a good fucking night, man. And you know what? We haven't even brought up the nonsense of the juniors. I don't give a fuck. You know what? Truth be told, I don't give a shit.
No, I don't want to talk about that this week. I don't want to bring the vibes down.
Gotcha. And the vibes are high. I told you, people. I told you. Stick with us. We'll do the job of getting you hyped. We'll do the fucking job of getting you hyped. And I got to be honest with you, if this past 30 minutes hasn't gotten you hyped, I don't know what the fuck can. I'm the most miserable motherfucker on God's green earth. And I think the Intercontinental Champion is Joel. All right? We hate people. We can't imagine. Like, we're sitting here talking about it, and we're fucking getting like, oh, fuck. Look at us getting all hyped up and energy and shivers down our spine. Let's go, kids. Let's hop on board. Let's get this fucking train rolling.
Yeah, I wonder if your top three matches are going to be Wolf versus Evil. So you get like the excitement of that, of seeing him, fucking judo throwing the whole House of Torture into dumpsters or something. Then you get Tsuji and Takeshita having like an absolutely fucking killer match of the year, 5-star. Everyone's raving about it. Holy shit, you got to see this match. And then as you're sort of buzzing from that, seeing Tsuji get crowned, this big moment, then the graphic flashing up on the screen, Tanahashi final match versus Okada. I wasn't expecting to go in this direction when we started recording. We've talked ourselves into it. Like there's the potential here to just do something really magical, and also, right, maybe give Yotsuji a little narrative kick. Let's say he wins the big one, but he's not main evented Wrestle Kingdom, so that, like Naito, that's something he's still got to try and aspire to get himself to that level. Like you've laid out like an absolute best case scenario for Wrestle Kingdom. So like best case, like killer match of the year, Tsuji beats Takeshita, and then Tanahashi gets this joyous win over Okada. Right, that's the best case scenario. What's the worst case scenario?
Worst case scenario is Tanahashi goes on right after intermission, gets pinned. Aaron Wolf loses, doesn't get any revenge, and Takeshita retains. That's the worst case scenario.
Yeah, if that happens, we're pulling the plug, right?
I mean, how could we go on? And I hear the collective yay. It's the Morrissey song where he's like, "This is the last song I will ever sing." Yay! Oh, I changed my mind again. Boo.
Yeah, we'll just pretend to do it. Do like a Mark Henry. We've got plenty more in the tank.
right. Joel, there's potential there. There's potential, and lest anyone think we are not fans of pro wrestling and the possibilities of what pro wrestling and the joy it can bring. Just rewind about a half an hour and just soak it in, kids. Because if they do that, are we working ourselves into a fucking frenzy? And are we setting ourselves up?
That's ourselves into a motherable shoot here. This is insane.
Did we just do it? Oh no! Now I'm scared. Oh.
But that's what's so exciting about this show, isn't it? Because there's the potential for such wild swings in vibes either way. Like this could be the greatest night of all time, or it could be an absolute disaster. That is the death knell for New Japan Pro Wrestling. If those two outcomes come out, Aaron Wolf shits the bed and looks rubbish and flubs all the spots. Like this could be like the death of New Japan as we know it, or it could be the best night of my entire life.
Right.
The variance is wild.
It's either going to be a -1 or an 11. There is no 6, right, in this night. It really is. Oh boy! All right, listen. I'm going to be positive, Pete, and I'm going to ride these vibes. I'm going to eat some dinner. I'm going to fuck my wife. I'm going to let the good times roll, man. Fucking kidney stones and all. I'm going to do it.
Okay, let's just throw one more little possibility at you.
All right.
At some point in the night, Wrestle Kingdom, presumably towards the end of it, how about a face-off, a confrontation between Yota Tsuji and Kazuchika Okada?
I mean, I'm going to say no, and I'll tell you why. Because if things, I want the spotlight to be on Hiroshi Tanahashi. Period. And I just don't like maybe a Dash. Dash is right after. There is. I haven't heard anything about Dash. Is there a Dash?
There is a Dash.
There is a Dash. Okay. So maybe a Dash. We could do that. I wouldn't have a problem with that at all. I really wouldn't. I wouldn't have a problem with that. Which kind of rattled my brain a little bit because I had a dream. I don't know if I told you this. I had a dream that at the Tanahashi Okada match, Okada was being like a dickhead heel AEW bullshit, right? And Nakamura made like a save or did something in the match to cause Tanahashi to win. So Nakamura was involved in the match after all. I forgot I even had that dream. It's funny.
The Rock comes out, throws a cracks Okada over the head with a Rubik's Cube.
That would just put a cherry on top of this year's cake. That is for fucking sure. Yeah, I wouldn't have a problem with that at Dash, but for that night, no. I want spotlight 1,010%. Again, I'm talking like he's winning, and I know New Japan's booking. I just it's a different time. Everyone, can we let's do it? Let's fucking do it. What do you say? Let's just fucking do it. The problem is that, and here's the thing too. Well, never mind. I was going to say it. Like, would that lead people to think, well, why are you retiring? You just beat Okada in the main event of Wrestle Kingdom. There's a possibility of that, but I think I'll take that risk over whatever. But again, I don't want to work myself up too much because I feel like I'm literally waiting for the letdown. No, I'm not going. Not today. Not tonight. Tonight the vibes are high.
There's just one more thing I wanted to ask you on this situation, which you sort of touched on before. We've talked about just such a huge range of possibilities and emotions coming out based on how those final two matches play out. the partnership with AW, like what do you think are the benefits at this point? Do you think there should be a partnership? Do you think there should be any partnerships?
I hate partnerships. I really don't think they benefit a lot of. I don't. I you know, remind.
Ricochet in the main event of the Tokyo Dome.
I
You
think
can't even main event Dynamite.
I think back, like I understand the need, like we need to fill bodies for certain things, right? Like World Tag League, or a Best of the Super Juniors, or um, there are times where a partnership comes in handy. I get that. There's also a times when it comes in handy when when you get the check from a gate that's pretty big. And let's be honest here, those New Japan, I'm not saying relies on it, but they're not complaining when those checks come for those with Forbidden Door shows, and talent gets used and all of those things. I think the idea of, well, you get your title on worldwide TV, I think those notions are completely just, people make so much out of that, and it's really never really turns out to be anything beneficial. The idea that guys get exposure, well, okay, not yes, but where does it help? What does that lead to? And you can tell by the people that are being used, right? They're all guys that AEW brass had their pants down to 10 years ago. You go back to New Japan, when New Japan is the big dog in the Noah relationship. I don't necessarily know if that's a great thing for anybody. When Suzuki-gun was running roughshod over fucking Noah, I remember talking to Noah fans, big time Noah fans, that were really disappointed by that. Like sitting next to them in Cork and Hall, and having them just be like, the old Japanese. Yeah, I got a lot of that. Sometimes I thought it was just because I was sitting next to them, but maybe not. I gotta sit next to this tub of shit. Ball, I can't see because of this big bald head. Shout out if you know, you know. If I just even with New Japan and Ring of Honor, let's be honest. Who was the bitch in that relationship? And you see it throughout the history. I don't know. Look, would it be hard to walk away from the checks that come? And at the end of the day, that's really what matters, right? Yeah. But again, from a wrestling fan perspective, on paper they sound like, oh, what a dream scenario, but in reality, it never really pans out. It really never does. I would be more than happy if, hey, thanks for everything. Shake hands. We can do business maybe down the road. For right now, we got to get our ducks in order, and let's just let this dissolve a little bit. Listen, they have no problem letting titles dissolve. Let's let relationships dissolve as well.
We've kind of overlooked the fact that this announcement came off the back of a match between Hiroshi Tanahashi and Yuto Ice, which I thought was really good. As I expected. I didn't think Yuto Ice was going to win, so Tanahashi got the win in the end. But I thought it was a really cool moment for Yuto Ice, like narratively, with them both being from the same hometown, and he wanted to be the toughest guy in the town. I thought commentary, Chris Charlton did a great job capitalizing on that and making it into a compelling narrative. Blockbuster Daddy says, given how much people are loving Yuto Ice, do you think it's possible he might not stay in the tag division for long, and that the company will make him more of a single star? So yeah, what did you think of the match and his prospects going forward?
I thought it was good, and it made sense. I'm sure it was a little bit of a quick decision, like they had to pivot a little bit to make that a thing. Obviously he was losing, but I thought he did very well, and Tanahashi played it up very well. I think a lot of us were more focused on the end of the match, and okay, what are we doing? But it Do I think the future is him as a single? Yeah. I think for both guys. If look, let's put it this way. I'm not saying that these guys are, the second coming of the fucking British Bulldogs, but or the Road Warriors, or or fucking whatever, Maeda and Takada. But if this is any indication of what they're capable of, they're only going to get better. So yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't believe that they have a ceiling that they have to, that they're limited to. I think again, what they've been able to do so far has been pretty nice. Singles match, I thought he held his own. I thought he did very well, as a matter of fact, given the circumstances and given the opportunity and given where he is in his career. Yeah. Let's see how the tag situation plays out. Let's see what more can happen. But yeah, I don't think I don't think that team is limited to just being a team. I think there will always be a connection and a kind of partnership, for lack of a better term, but and a connection. But yeah, I think they both want to be singles, I would think, at the end of the day.
And the Bebler, so this is on the back of some sort of tentative rumors about Tanahashi exploring stuff with Noah and Nakamura. The Bebler says, if Tana does the Nakamura match in Noah and it leads to 20,000 fans packing the Budokan for a WWE affiliated show and falling in love with Hank and Tank, then is Tony Khan responsible for driving Japanese fans to the Fed? Do you think there's a chance that they might get Tanahashi versus Nakamura done in Pro Wrestling Noah?
No, I think. I mean, look, I'll never say never, but to me, that seems like dare I close out the show with a pipe dream.
Oh, I wanted to close out the show with one last thing. So Liam says, "Where is Jake Lee? Please answer me. I'm desperate here." So how about that? Tanahashi, big joyous win. Everyone is absolutely euphoric, and then we get the Kenta moment, but with Jake Lee. Jake Lee comes out and beats up Tanahashi, and we close Wrestle Kingdom with Jake Lee standing tall over the battered body of Hiroki Tanahashi. Yay!
Don't expect the show next week.
Right, that's it. Done.
Hi, I'm Case Lowe, co-host of the Open the Voice Gate podcast. The one question I'm constantly asked when it comes to Dragon Gate is, how do I get into the promotion? Well, stop asking and start listening to the Open the Voice Gate podcast, released every Wednesday on the Voices of Wrestling Podcasting Network. For exclusive news and show reviews, look no further than the leader in Dragon Gate coverage, Open the Voice Gate.
Hello, Voices of Wrestling Podcasting Network listeners. I am Jeff Hawkins, co-host of Shake Them Ropes, with a very special announcement. If it's been a while or you've never listened to us before, the original gang is back. Myself and Rob McCarran, back talking wrestling. We have no idea where this show's going to go, where we're going to keep any of the old bits or any of the old things in there. It's going to be a process. It's going to be a journey, and we'd like for you to come along with us. Only on Shake Them Ropes on the Voices of Wrestling Podcasting Network.